The pregnancy test falls from her vacation photos, dated 3 weeks after she'd sworn nothing happened in Cancun. My hands shake as I pick it up from our bedroom floor, the pink plus sign still visible through the clear window. The test strip smells faintly of coconut sunscreen and something else. Tequila maybe, or just betrayal. Rebecca's photo album lies open on our bed. Pictures of her girls-only resort weekend scattered across our anniversary quilt. But this isn't what stops my breathing. It's the date written in her careful handwriting on the test's wrapper, March 15th, 3 days into her trip. She was already pregnant when she left. The resort bracelet slips out next, bright orange against our white sheets. Couples package, Ocean View Suite, printed in Spanish and English. I remember that bracelet cost. $400 extra for the upgrade she said her sister wanted. Her sister, who I now realize never posted a single photo from the trip. David? Rebecca's voice floats up from downstairs. Can you help me with groceries? I slide the test back between the photos, my fingers brushing against something else. A receipt. Room service for 3, champagne, strawberries, the kind of order you make when you're celebrating. Or seducing. The timestamp reads 2:47 a.m. David, everything okay up there? My mouth tastes like copper. Coming. She's in the kitchen when I come down, humming that song from our wedding. The nerve of it makes my jaw clench. She looks exactly the same, blonde hair in a messy bun, wearing my old college sweatshirt, sorting organic vegetables like she isn't carrying another man's child. You're pale, she says, not looking up. You feeling all right? Found something interesting upstairs. Her hands pause on a tomato, just for a second. Oh? Your vacation photos from Cancun. Those came out great, didn't they? Monica looks so tan. She's washing lettuce now, water running loud enough to fill the silence. Funny thing about Monica, I pull out my phone, show her Monica's Instagram from March. She was in Denver that whole week, work conference. The lettuce tears in her hands. You're checking up on my friends now? No, I'm checking up on my wife, who came back from vacation with a pregnancy test dated during the trip. The water keeps running. She doesn't move, doesn't breathe, just stares at the destroyed lettuce in her hands like it holds answers. Rebecca, it's not... She turns, and there are already tears. Of course there are tears. It's not what you think. Then explain the couple's bracelet. Explain the room service for 3. I can explain it. Explain why you hid a positive pregnancy test in a photo album instead of telling your husband you're pregnant. The water overflows the colander. Neither of us moves to stop it. If you've ever discovered something that changed everything in a single moment, leave I understand below. Because standing in my kitchen, watching my wife cry over organic lettuce while hiding another man's child, I need to know I'm not alone in this kind of devastation. It's yours, she finally whispers. The baby is yours. Then why hide it? Because I wasn't sure if I wanted it. The lie is so obvious, it's insulting. 7 years of marriage, and she thinks I can't read her tells. The way her left eye twitches, how she touches her ear when she's fabricating. Who is he? There is no he. David, please. I pull out the receipt. Room service for 3 at 2:47 in the morning. That was, Monica had a friend. Stop. The word comes out sharper than intended. From next door, we hear the Johnsons' dog start barking. Sound carries in these suburban houses. Everyone will know soon enough. Just stop lying. She sinks into a kitchen chair, my sweatshirt swallowing her small frame. For a moment, she looks like the girl I married, the one who cried at our wedding when she promised to forsake all others. I met someone, she says to the floor. The words hang between us like a blade. When? Does it matter? Everything matters now. She pulls her knees up, making herself smaller. January, at that medical conference in Miami, The one you couldn't attend because of Emma's recital. Emma, our daughter, 7 years old with my eyes and her mother's smile, currently at school, learning multiplication, not knowing her world is about to shatter. And Cancun? He flew down. Carlos. His name is Carlos. Carlos. The name tastes foreign in my mouth, sharp and wrong. And the pregnancy? Her silence is answer enough. The date on the test matched her girls-only weekend. Margaret Sterling's law office smells like leather and disappointment. She's handled 3 of my friends' divorces, and now she's handling mine. The irony isn't lost on me that I recommended her to Tom last year when he found out about his wife's affair. Now I'm sitting in the same chair, staring at the same certificates on her wall. In this state, Margaret says, sliding papers across her mahogany desk, legal paternity is complicated. You're married. The law presumes you're the father, even though he's not mine. Do you have proof he's not yours? She admitted the affair. The dates don't line up. I haven't touched her since New Year's. Margaret's expression doesn't change. 20 years of practice have perfected her poker face. Admission of affair doesn't negate paternal responsibility. Unless you have a DNA test proving you're not the father, the state considers you legally responsible. That's insane. That's the law. She clicks her pen, a sound like bones breaking. Now, we can demand paternity testing, but Rebecca has to agree. If she refuses, we need a court order, which takes time. Meanwhile, if the child is born during your marriage, your name goes on the birth certificate. Automatically? Automatically. The recording device on Margaret's desk blinks red, capturing everything. She notices me staring at it. Everything we discuss is privileged, but I recommend you start recording too. Every conversation with Rebecca, every text, every email, build your evidence file. She's 5 months along. She hid it for 5 months. That works in our favor, actually. Concealment shows consciousness of guilt. Judges don't look kindly on deception, especially involving children. She pulls out another form. Do you have other children? Emma, she's 7. Custody will be our primary leverage. Courts consider the best interests of existing children. A mother who lies about paternity might lie about other things. I don't want to use Emma as a weapon. You won't be. You'll be protecting her from a mother who's proven herself capable of profound deception. Outside Margaret's window, Charlotte traffic moves in predictable patterns. Normal people living normal lives, not sitting in lawyers' offices learning how their marriages became crime scenes. What about him, Carlos? What about him? Does he have rights? Margaret's smile is sharp as winter. Not if he's not on the birth certificate, not if he doesn't petition for paternity. Most affair partners disappear when lawyers get involved. And if he doesn't, then we have a different conversation. But right now, my concern is protecting you and Emma. She hands me a retainer agreement. The number at the bottom makes me dizzy. I know it's a lot, she says, but this is your life we're protecting, your daughter's future, your financial security. I sign it. What choice do I have? In this state, you're the father, regardless. Emma's drawing sits on my home office desk like evidence of innocence in a guilty world. She made it at school yesterday, art class, Mrs. Peterson's assignment to draw their families. There's me, tall stick figure with brown scratches for hair. There's Rebecca, yellow circles for her blonde hair, holding hands with me. And there's Emma between us, purple dress, because purple is her favorite color this week. But there's also something else. A small figure off to the side, separated from our hand-holding circle by a dark line. When I asked her about it at dinner, she shrugged. That's the sad person, she said, then went back to her mac and cheese. Children know. They always know. Daddy? She's in my doorway now, backpack still on, shoes muddy from the playground. Hey, princess, good day at school? She nods but doesn't come in. That's new. She usually launches herself at me, all stories and energy. Mom's crying again, she says. Is she? In her room, with the door locked. Rebecca's been sleeping in the guest room for 3 days. Told Emma she has a cold, doesn't want to get anyone sick. Emma's not stupid. Come here, I say, and she finally enters, drops her backpack by my desk. I lift her onto my lap and she smells like crayons and childhood. Are you and Mommy getting divorced? The question winds me. Why would you ask that? Tommy's parents got divorced. He said it started with his mom crying a lot and his dad working late. She picks at a loose thread on my shirt. You've been working late. Sometimes adults have complicated problems, Em, but no matter what happens with me and Mom, you know we both love you, right? That's what Tommy's dad said too. Jesus, this kid. Look at me. She does, and her eyes are mine, but the worry in them is all Rebecca. I will never, ever leave you. No matter what happens, I'm your dad forever, understand? She nods, then pulls a new drawing from her pocket. This one's different. It's our house, but there's a crack down the middle. Like an earthquake split it in half. Mrs. Peterson said to draw what makes us sad, she explains. I drew our broken house. It's not broken, baby. Then why does Mommy cry when she talks to someone named Carlos? My blood freezes. When did you hear that name? Last night, she was on the phone in the bathroom. She kept saying, Carlos, please, and Carlos, you promised. The thread Emma was picking at finally snaps. Daddy, why is Mommy crying to someone named Carlos? The credit card statements tell a story Rebecca never wanted me to read. 5 months of charges that paint a picture of deception in retail transactions. Victoria's Secret, January 15th, 2 days before the Miami conference. $340 for lingerie I've never seen. Sephora, January 16th, $200 for makeup she wore for someone else. Then the bigger charges. Southwest Airlines, 2 tickets to Cancun, but only 1 return flight in her name. The other return, 3 days later, charged to a different card. A card I'm seeing for the first time in our joint accounts. Hotel upgrade, $400. Not for Monica's comfort, but for Carlos's pleasure. Spa services, $500. Couples massage, the receipt says when I call to verify. Mr. and Mrs. Santos had the beachside package. The receptionist confirms. Mrs. Santos. She used his last name. My phone buzzes. Rebecca, texting from the guest room 20 feet away. We need to talk about Emma. Come to my office. I text back. Can't you come here? No. She appears in my doorway 5 minutes later, wrapped in a bathrobe I bought her last Christmas. Her face is swollen from crying, but I'm past caring about her tears. Emma heard you, I say before she can speak. On the phone with him. Her face drains of color. I didn't... She heard you saying his name, Carlos. Now our 7-year-old knows Mommy has a Carlos who makes her cry. I'll talk to her. You'll do nothing. You've done enough. I turn my laptop toward her, showing the credit card statements. Want to explain the couples massage? Or should I ask Mrs. Santos? She grips the door frame like she might fall. How did you... I called them. Amazing what hotels will tell you when you have the credit card number. David, please, I made a mistake. A mistake? You planned this for months. You bought lingerie. You got a second credit card. You used his name. That's not a mistake, Rebecca. That's a relationship. It's over. I ended it. When? After Cancun. When I found out about... She touches her stomach and I want to recoil. About his baby. We don't know. Stop. I hold up the statements. January 3rd, last time we had sex. You were in Miami January 17th. Cancun March 12th. You're 5 months pregnant. Do the math. Stress can affect timing. Don't. Just don't. From Emma's room down the hall, we hear her iPad playing that song from Frozen she loves. Let it go, the singer advises. If only it were that simple. What do you want me to say? Rebecca asks. That I ruined everything, that I destroyed our family. Fine, I did. Is that what you need to hear? I need to hear the truth. All of it. She slides down the door frame until she's sitting on the floor, knees pulled up as much as her pregnancy allows. You want the truth? I fell in love with someone else. For 3 months, I felt alive again, like I mattered, like I wasn't just Emma's mom or David's wife, I was just Rebecca. You were never just anything, you were everything. Were, past tense. She looks up at me, and for a moment I see the woman I proposed to 10 years ago. When did we become past tense? January 17th, the moment you chose him. She doesn't argue, can't argue. The evidence is growing inside her, making her bathrobe stretch over her expanding belly. He doesn't even know she's married. The words slip out before I can stop them, and Rebecca's head snaps up. What? Private investigator, Carlos Santos thinks you're divorced. That's what you told him, right? That we've been separated for a year? Her silence confirms everything. He thinks Emma is from a previous relationship. Thinks your ex has full custody, which is why you never mentioned a daughter. I close the laptop, the sound final, as a coffin lid. You erased us completely. I didn't mean... You told him you were free, available, his. I stand, suddenly needing distance from her lies. Does he know you're pregnant? A pause. Too long. Yes. And? He's, happy. The word hits like a physical blow. Happy. Another man is happy about my wife's pregnancy. Pack a bag, I say. You're staying with your sister tonight. David, please. I need space to think, to figure out how to explain to Emma why mommy's leaving. You can't tell her. I won't tell her about your affair, but I won't lie to her either. She deserves better than that. We both do. Rebecca struggles to her feet, one hand on her back, the other cradling her stomach. The gesture is so naturally maternal it makes me angry. She's protecting his child while destroying ours. What about counseling? She asks. We could try. There is no try. There's just evidence and consequences. So that's it. 7 years and you're just done? I look at her, this stranger wearing my wife's face, carrying another man's children, twins, though she doesn't know I know that yet. I'm not the one who ended it. I'm just the one dealing with the debris. She leaves to pack, and I sit in my office staring at Emma's broken house drawing. The crack down the middle seems wider now, like it might split completely with the slightest pressure. From my desk drawer, I pull out our wedding album, page after page of promises now broken. In every photo, Rebecca glows with what I thought was love, but might have just been good lighting. The priest who married us, Father Michael, always said marriage was about choosing each other daily. She stopped choosing me 147 days ago. My phone buzzes with a text from Margaret Sterling. Investigator found more. Carlos Santos has interesting history. Call when ready. I'm about to call when Emma appears in my doorway again, this time in her pajamas, clutching the stuffed rabbit I bought her when she was born. Is mommy leaving because of the baby? Christ. What baby, sweetheart? The one in her tummy. I saw the test in the bathroom trash. 7 years old and already a detective. Come here. She climbs into my lap and I hold her tight. This one perfect thing in my collapsing world. Sometimes adults make choices that hurt other people, but none of this is your fault. Is the baby why you're mad? I'm not mad at the baby. I'm sad about complicated things. Will you love the baby? The question I've been avoiding, asked with the simple directness only children possess. I don't know, I tell her honestly, but I know I'll always love you. She nods, satisfied for now, and yawns against my shoulder. Can I sleep in your room tonight? Sure, princess. As I carry her to my room, passing the guest room where Rebecca is packing, I hear her on the phone again, whispering urgently in Spanish, a language she claimed she barely remembered from high school, but apparently speaks fluently with Carlos. The house feels different already, like it knows it's about to break completely. The transfers started 6 months ago. The marriage counselor's office is supposed to be neutral ground, but everything about it feels like Rebecca's territory. Dr. Patricia Reynolds comes recommended by Rebecca's therapist, a detail that already puts me on edge. The walls are pale pink, the color of denial, and there's a box of tissues on every surface like emotional landmines. David, Rebecca tells me you're unwilling to consider reconciliation, Dr. Reynolds says, her voice professionally modulated to sound non-judgmental while absolutely judging. Rebecca told you about Carlos? I ask. She shared that there were complications during a difficult period in your marriage. Complications? I taste the word. Is that what we're calling affairs now? Rebecca shifts in her chair, one hand on her belly. She's wearing a maternity dress for the first time, pale blue with flowers, making it real, making it visible. I've taken responsibility, Rebecca says. I've apologized. I've ended it. What more do you want? A paternity test? The words hang in the recycled air of the office. Dr. Reynolds' pen stops moving. The children are yours, Rebecca says, but her voice cracks on yours. Children, Dr. Reynolds asks. Plural? Rebecca's face goes white. She didn't mean to reveal that. Twins, I say. She's carrying twins. Found out last week when she went to her appointment alone, without telling me. You went through my medical records? They came to the house, addressed to Mr. and Mrs. Thompson. I'm still Mr. Thompson, remember? Dr. Reynolds clears her throat. A paternity test could help resolve uncertainty. No. Rebecca's voice is sharp. I won't do it. Why not? I lean forward. If they're mine, it proves it. Ends the doubt. Because it means you don't trust me. I actually laugh. It's an ugly sound in the soft room. Trust you? You had an affair? You hid a pregnancy? You used his last name at a hotel. Trust is gone, Rebecca. David, Dr. Reynolds intervenes. Perhaps we should discuss why trust. If you loved me, you wouldn't need proof, Rebecca says, and it's such a manipulation, so calculated that I see Margaret was right. This isn't about saving a marriage. This is about legal positioning. If you loved me, you wouldn't have slept with Carlos. I made one mistake. One? How about the January conference? The February weekend you said you were at your mother's? The March Cancun trip? I pull out my phone, show them both the credit card records. The private investigator found 7 trips. 7 times you chose him. Rebecca stares at the phone like it might bite her. You hired a private investigator? You hired Carlos. We all make choices. Dr. Reynolds attempts to regain control. These accusations and investigations won't help rebuild. There is no rebuilding, I say. There's just custody arrangements and divorce papers. What about Emma? Rebecca asks. She needs both parents. She needs honest parents. Can you provide that? This hostility isn't productive, Dr. Reynolds says. Neither is this session. I stand. Rebecca, when you're ready to take a paternity test, call my lawyer. Until then, we have nothing to discuss. David, please. I've made an appointment at a lab for Thursday. All you have to do is show up. I leave them there, Rebecca crying into one of the strategically placed tissue boxes, Dr. Reynolds probably calculating how many more sessions she can bill to our insurance. In the parking lot, I check my phone. 3 missed calls from Margaret Sterling. 1 from my bank. If you loved me, you wouldn't need proof. The bank manager's name is Harrison Wells, and he looks like he'd rather be anywhere else than showing me my wife's secret financial life. His office has that corporate sterile smell, like ambition mixed with hand sanitizer. Mr. Thompson, he says, sliding papers across his desk. These are the accounts in question. 3 accounts I didn't know existed. 1 opened 6 months ago, 2 days after our anniversary dinner where Rebecca said she wanted to feel more independent financially. I thought she meant getting a part-time job. Total deposits of $37,000 over 6 months, Harrison continues. Regular transfers from your joint account, plus several large deposits from a... He pauses, professional discretion warring with legal obligation, external sources. Carlos Santos, he nods, multiple wire transfers from a Spanish account. He's been paying her? $5,000 monthly plus additional amounts marked as gifts. I stare at the numbers. My wife was being kept by another man while sleeping in my bed. While I paid the mortgage, the car payments, Emma's school tuition, Rebecca was building an escape fund with her lover's money. There's more, Harrison says reluctantly. She applied for a credit card. High limit. It's nearly maxed out. How much? $23,000. On what? He slides over the statements. Jewelry I've never seen. Designer clothes that aren't in her closet. Hotel rooms in cities she said she never visited. A medical spa in Miami that specializes in, I read closer, fertility treatments. She was trying to get pregnant, I say, the realization hitting like cold water. She was actively trying to have his baby. Harrison looks deeply uncomfortable. I can't speak to intent, only transactions. Can you freeze the accounts? Not without a court order. Her name is on them, legally. What about the joint accounts? You can remove your name, stop your deposits, but you can't prevent her access without a court order. Right. I gather the papers, evidence for Margaret. Thank you for this. Mr. Thompson, Harrison calls as I reach the door. I've been through something similar. It gets easier. When? When you stop hoping it's all a mistake. Outside the bank, the world continues its Tuesday afternoon routine. People depositing paychecks, planning futures, trusting partners who might be systematically betraying them. My phone buzzes with a text from Rebecca. Emma forgot her library book. Can you drop it off? The normalcy of it makes me want to scream. She's destroyed our life but remembers library books. I drive to the school, find the book in Emma's disaster of a room. Dragons love tacos, her current favorite. The assistant principal, Mrs. Chen, smiles when I sign in. Emma will be so happy. She was worried about late fees. She worries about everything lately, I say without thinking. Mrs. Chen's smile dims. We've noticed. Her teacher mentioned some changes, distraction, some tears, everything okay at home. We're working through some challenges. Well, Emma's lucky to have such an involved father. Not all kids do. Not all kids have fathers who know they're the father, I think, but don't say. I find Emma in art class, painting what looks like a family of dolphins. She lights up when she sees me, and for a moment, everything else fades. Daddy, you brought my book. Course I did, princess. She hugs me tight, paint-covered hands leaving blue marks on my shirt. Will you read it to me tonight? Every word. Even the parts about spicy salsa? Especially those parts. Mrs. Peterson approaches, Emma's art teacher, holding something. Mr. Thompson, Emma made something special today. She wanted to give it to you herself. Emma pulls out a folded paper from her pocket. It's a letter. For you? Can I read it now? She shakes her head. Tonight, when I'm in bed. Promise. Promise. The letter weighs nothing and everything in my pocket as I leave the school. The transfer started 6 months ago. I wait until Emma's asleep to read her letter. 7-year-old handwriting, some words spelled phonetically, crayon hearts in the margins. Dear Daddy, I know Mommy did something bad. I heard you fighting. Tommy says when mommies and daddies fight about other people, it's called a fair. Did Mommy have a fair? I don't care if Mommy has a baby with someone else. You're still my daddy, forever and always like you promised. Please don't leave like Tommy's dad. He said he would visit, but he didn't. He got a new family and forgot Tommy. I don't care whose baby it is. You're my daddy. The only daddy I need. Love, Emma. P.S. If you leave, can I come with you? The paper shakes in my hands. My 7-year-old is trying to hold her world together with crayon hearts and phonetic spelling. I sit on her bedroom floor, watching her sleep, Mr. Bunny clutched tight in her arms. Please don't leave us like Tommy's dad did. Thursday morning arrives with spring rain and Rebecca's empty chair at the paternity testing lab. I wait 45 minutes past our appointment time, watching other couples come and go. Some holding hands, some carefully not touching, all seeking truth in DNA sequences. My phone rings. Rebecca. I'm not coming, she says. I'm shocked. David, your refusal will be noted in court. Margaret says it shows consciousness of guilt. Everything's about court with you now. Everything's about truth. You're the one hiding from it. I have a doctor's appointment, a real one, for the twins. So go after... It's the anatomy scan. They check for problems. I thought you might want to come. The manipulation is breathtaking. Use the baby's health to avoid the paternity test. Which clinic? Charlotte Women's Health, 2:00. I'll meet you there. Really? They might be mine, Rebecca. Despite everything, they might be mine. She's silent for so long, I think she's hung up. Then, quietly, they are yours, David. I swear they are. Then prove it. After the scan, if everything's okay with them, I'll do the test. Today? Today. I don't believe her, but I go anyway. The waiting room is full of happy couples, excited grandparents, pregnancy everywhere. Rebecca's in the corner, alone, reading a pamphlet about twin development. She looks small, vulnerable, nothing like the woman who planned an affair with military precision. You came, she says. I said I would. The technician calls us back. Mr. and Mrs. Thompson? And neither of us corrects her about what we are or aren't anymore. The room is dark, the ultrasound screen bright. Rebecca lifts her shirt, revealing the swell that contains maybe my children, maybe my shame. The gel goes on, the wand presses down, and suddenly there they are, 2 babies, 2 heartbeats, 2 tiny humans who didn't ask for any of this. Baby A is here, the technician says, measuring, clicking. Baby B is hiding behind his brother, shy guy. Brothers? Rebecca asks. Both boys? Definitely. See? She points to the evidence on the screen. 2 healthy boys. Rebecca starts crying. I don't know what to feel. The technician mistakes our silence for joy. Everything looks perfect. 10 fingers, 10 toes each. Strong heartbeats. Baby A is maybe a little bigger, but that's normal with twins. She freezes the image, captures their profiles. Want pictures? Yes, Rebecca says. No, I say simultaneously. The technician's smile falters. I'll print some. You can decide later. She leaves us alone with the frozen image of 2 boys who might be mine. Rebecca's still crying, gel still on her belly, reaching for my hand. Look at them, David. Look at our boys. We don't know they're ours. I know. A mother knows. You knew Carlos too. Her hand drops. Why are you so cruel? Why were you? She wipes the gel off, pulls down her shirt. The boys disappear from the screen. The lab is downstairs. I say, paternity testing, you promised. After all this, especially. We ride the elevator in silence. The lab is efficient, professional, discreet. They swab my cheek, take her blood, promise results in 5 to 7 days. Twins complicate the testing, the technician explains. We have to separate their DNA profiles, but we'll have definitive answers. Definitive answers, what I've wanted all along. As we leave, Rebecca stops at the hospital's chapel. I need a minute. I wait in the hall, watch her kneel in the empty pews, praying to what God for what outcome, I don't know. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown international number. Is Rebecca okay? She's not answering. I'm worried about my sons. Carlos. My blood goes cold. He has my number. He's calling them his sons. It's twins, Rebecca says, coming out of the chapel. Both boys. Margaret Sterling's emergency meeting comes with coffee and bad news. Carlos Santos is coming to Charlotte, she says, sliding a printed email across her desk. His lawyer contacted me this morning. His lawyer? He's claiming parental rights, wants to establish paternity, seek custody. But Rebecca said Rebecca lied. Margaret pulls out a file. A Carlos Santos, 34, Spanish citizen here on a medical research visa, divorced, no children from his marriage, has been documenting his relationship with Rebecca extensively. Documenting. Emails, texts, photos, receipts. He believes he's the father and wants to be involved. She shows me a photo from his lawyer. Rebecca on a beach, clearly pregnant, Carlos's hand on her belly, both smiling, both wearing rings. They look married, I say. He thought they were getting married. She told him you abandoned the family. That divorce was just paperwork. Jesus. There's more. He's been supporting her financially because she told him she got nothing in the divorce. He's paid nearly $40,000 over 6 months, thinking he was supporting his future wife and children. He knows it's twins? She told him immediately, sent him ultrasound pictures, called him crying with joy. While I was sitting in the dark of my office staring at Emma's broken house drawing, my wife was celebrating her pregnancy with another man. What's our position? I ask, complicated. If the DNA proves you're not the father, he has rights. If you are the father, he can still petition based on their relationship and Rebecca's representations. So either way, this gets messy, public, expensive. She leans forward. There's another option. What? Let him have them. What? If the DNA shows they're his, walk away, sign away rights. Let Carlos and Rebecca deal with their consequences. And if they're mine? Then we fight. But David, you need to prepare yourself. The DNA might not give you the answer you want. Which answer do I want? Margaret's smile is sad. That's what you need to decide. I leave her office and drive aimlessly through Charlotte, past the hospital where Emma was born, past the church where Rebecca and I married, past the park where I taught Emma to ride a bike last summer. Every landmark a reminder of the life we built and she destroyed. My phone rings. Rebecca. Carlos is coming, she says without preamble. I know. He wants to meet you. Why? To discuss the situation, the babies, the future. Our lawyers can discuss. He doesn't want lawyers. He wants to talk father to father. We don't know who the father is. He's certain they're his. Are you? A pause. I don't know anymore. I don't know anything anymore. Where does he want to meet? The Westin, downtown, tomorrow at noon. Will you come? I think about the photo Margaret showed me. Rebecca glowing with happiness I haven't seen in years. Carlos's protective hand on her belly. The rings that suggested promises I thought were mine alone to make. I'll be there. David, whatever happens, I'm sorry. I know it doesn't matter, but I'm sorry. You're right, I say. It doesn't matter. I hang up and drive home to Emma, to homework and dinner and bedtime stories, to the remnants of a life that might not survive the meeting tomorrow. That night, Emma crawls into my bed at 2 a.m., Mr. Bunny in tow. Bad dream? I ask. No, sad dream. What about? The babies, Mommy's babies. She curls against me. In my dream, they didn't have a daddy. Everyone has a daddy, Em. But what if their daddy doesn't want them? Then they'll find another daddy, someone who chooses them. Like how you chose me. I didn't choose you, baby. You were always mine. But what if I wasn't? Would you still love me? The question hangs in the dark, prescient beyond her years. Love isn't about blood, Em. It's about showing up. You always show up. Always will. She falls asleep against my shoulder, and I lie awake thinking about 2 boys on an ultrasound screen, about Carlos flying across an ocean for children he's certain are his, about Rebecca praying in an empty chapel, about DNA tests that will answer everything and nothing. What matters more, biological connection, or chosen commitment? If you've wrestled with this question, share your thoughts below. I'm taking my sons back to Spain. The Westin lobby smells like money and fresh flowers. Carlos Santos sits in a leather chair by the window, and I know him immediately. Not from photos, but from the way he watches the door. The way a father watches for threats to his children. He's younger than I expected. Handsome in that European way Rebecca always found attractive. Dark hair, good suit, hands that don't shake when he stands to greet me. "David?" he says, accent soft but present. "Thank you for coming." "Carlos." We don't shake hands. Neither of us sits. "You want coffee? Something stronger?" "I want answers." He nods, gestures to a corner table away from the lobby traffic. We sit across from each other, two men claiming the same future. "Rebecca tells me you refuse to accept truth," he says. "Whose truth?" "That the babies are mine, that she loves me, that your marriage ended long before I arrived." "Is that what she told you?" "It's what I know." He pulls out his phone, shows me messages, dozens of them. Rebecca saying she loves him, Rebecca calling him the father of her children, Rebecca promising to marry him once the paperwork is finalized. She was never getting divorced, I tell him, not until I found out. His face doesn't change. "She said you were abusive, controlling, that you wouldn't let her leave." "She said a lot of things." "You deny it?" "I deny everything she told you. We were married, happy I thought, until January, until you." Now his composure cracks slightly. "January, she said you separated in 2023. Our 7th anniversary was in December. We celebrated at the Ritz, made love that night, talked about having another baby." I pull out my phone, show him the photos. Rebecca and me, champagne glasses raised, her wedding ring prominent. 6 weeks before Miami. Carlos stares at the photo like it's written in a foreign language. "This is fake." The date stamp isn't. Neither is the Ritz reservation, or the charge for the champagne. I show him receipts, evidence Margaret suggested I bring. She played us both. "No, she loves me. The babies might be yours, might be mine," she won't say. "They're mine." But his voice wavers now. "The dates don't add up, I know. We had sex January 3rd. She saw you January 17th. Could go either way." He sits back, processing. In better circumstances, I might feel sorry for him. He flew across an ocean for a family that might not exist. "The DNA test," he says finally. "When do you get results?" 4 more days. "I want my own test." Rebecca has to agree. She will. She tells me everything. Like how she was married. His jaw tightens. She was protecting herself from you. "Right. The abusive husband who's sitting here calmly while you claim my wife's pregnancy." "Ex-wife. Current wife. We're not divorced yet." "But you will be." "Yes." "And then?" "Depends on the DNA." Carlos leans forward. "What if I told you I don't care about DNA? What if I told you I love her, I love those babies, and I want to raise them regardless?" "I'd say you're either a saint or a fool. Maybe both." He pulls out an envelope, slides it across the table. "My offer." Inside, a check. $200,000. "You're trying to buy them?" "I'm trying to buy peace. You take the money, sign away rights, let us be family, everyone wins. Except Emma, your daughter, mine and Rebecca's, 7 years old, who loves her mother despite everything. She could visit." "No." "Summers?" "No." "Then what do you want?" I think about Emma's letter in my pocket, about her fear of being left like Tommy, about 2 boys on an ultrasound screen who didn't choose any of this. "I want the truth," I say, "and then I want what's best for all the children, including the twins. What's best is 2 parents who love each other. What's best is honesty, something Rebecca seems incapable of." Carlos's phone buzzes. Rebecca texting. His face changes as he reads. "What?" I ask. She's at the hospital. Contractions? She's only 24 weeks. Something's wrong. He's already standing. I'm going. So am I. We drive separately but arrive together. Rebecca's in triage, hooked to monitors, crying. When she sees both of us, her face cycles through emotions, relief, fear, shame. They're trying to stop the contractions, she says. It's too early. What happened? Carlos takes her hand. I notice she lets him. Stress, they think. Blood pressure spiked. The babies... She breaks off, looking at me. They might come tonight. At 24 weeks, survival is possible, but not guaranteed. Every day inside her matters. Dr. Patricia Chen enters all business. Mrs. Thompson, we've got the contractions slowed but not stopped. We need to admit you. Start magnesium, steroids for the baby's lungs. Whatever they need, Rebecca says. There are decisions to make. If they come tonight, extraordinary measures. Who's making medical decisions? Rebecca looks between Carlos and me. I'm the husband, I say. I'm the father, Carlos says simultaneously. Dr. Chen's expression doesn't change. She's seen everything. Legally, the husband has authority, unless there's documentation otherwise. This is ridiculous, Carlos says. Those are my sons. We don't know that, I interrupt. Gentlemen, Dr. Chen says sharply, 2 babies are trying to arrive 14 weeks early. Whatever your situation, figure it out fast. These decisions can't wait for DNA tests. She leaves us with paperwork, consent forms for procedures that might save 2 lives that might be mine to save. I'm taking my sons back to Spain, Carlos says quietly, but it's not a threat anymore. It's a prayer. The courtroom smells like wood polish and broken promises. Emergency hearing, Margaret called it. Judge Harrison presiding, a woman who looks like she's heard every lie ever told. Your Honor, Margaret begins, my client seeks immediate clarification of parental rights and responsibilities regarding the unborn children. Carlos's lawyer, a sharp-dressed man named Brennan, stands. Your Honor, my client has been in a relationship with Mrs. Thompson for 8 months. He has reasonable belief. Based on fraud, Margaret interrupts. Mrs. Thompson told Mr. Santos she was divorced. She used his money under false pretenses. Counselors, Judge Harrison says, voice like gravel. I've read the briefs. Mrs. Thompson, you're on bed rest. Rebecca appears on a tablet screen from her hospital bed. Yes, Your Honor. And you refuse to stipulate paternity? I believe my husband is the father. Belief isn't evidence. When will DNA results be available? Monday, Margaret answers, but the babies might come before then. Hence our emergency. Judge Harrison reviews files. Mr. Thompson, you're willing to make medical decisions for children who might not be yours. I stand. Yes, Your Honor. Why? Because they're innocent. Because they need someone to fight for them. Because their mother is my wife, and despite everything, those vows meant something to me. Mr. Santos, your position? Carlos stands. I love their mother. I believed we were building a family. If those are my sons, I want full rights. And if they're not? He glances at Rebecca on the screen. Then I was lied to about everything. Judge Harrison nods. Here's what's going to happen. Until DNA results, Mr. Thompson maintains medical decision authority as the legal spouse. Mr. Santos may be present, but not make decisions. Once paternity is established, we reconvene. Your Honor, Emma's voice pipes up from the back of the courtroom. Everyone turns. She's with my mother, wearing her school uniform, holding a piece of paper. Young lady, Judge Harrison says, not unkindly, this is adult business. I know. But nobody asked me, and I'm the big sister. Margaret looks at me. I nod. Approach, Judge Harrison says. Emma walks forward, small but determined. I wrote a letter. Can I read it? This is highly irregular, Brennan begins. So is this entire situation, Judge Harrison says. Young lady, Emma, is it? You may read your letter. Emma unfolds her paper, clears her throat. Dear Judge, my name is Emma Thompson and I am 7 years old. My mommy is having 2 babies. People are fighting about whose babies they are. I don't care whose DNA they have. I care who will love them. My daddy, David Thompson, is not perfect. He works too much and sometimes forgets to cut the crust off my sandwiches. But he shows up. Every recital, every soccer game, every nightmare. He shows up. I don't know Mr. Carlos. He might be nice. But he lives far away in Spain. How can he show up for baseball practice from Spain? How can he read bedtime stories from across the ocean? Families aren't made from DNA. They're made from showing up. My daddy will show up for these babies like he shows up for me, even if they're not his, because that's what real fathers do. Please don't take the babies away. They need their big sister, and I need them. Love, Emma Thompson, P.S. My real dad is the one who stayed. The courtroom is silent. Rebecca is crying on the screen. Carlos stares at Emma like he's seeing a ghost. Thank you, Emma. Judge Harrison says softly, that was very brave. It was just true, Emma says, and returns to my mother. Your Honor, Brennan says, while touching, a child's letter doesn't change. No, but it illuminates what's at stake. 3 children who need stability. Judge Harrison makes notes. My ruling stands. DNA, Monday, decisions after, court adjourned. As we file out, Carlos stops me. She's remarkable, your daughter. She is. You raised her well. Rebecca and I raised her, together, before. I didn't know, he says quietly. About any of it. The marriage, Emma. I thought I was saving her. From what? From you. From loneliness. From a life she said was killing her slowly. Maybe it was. Maybe we're both fools. Definitely. My phone rings. The hospital. My real dad is the one who stayed. The NICU is too bright, too loud with machines keeping tiny humans alive. Rebecca's in surgery, emergency C-section, the twins coming 14 weeks early despite everyone's efforts. Mr. Thompson, Dr. Chen finds me in the waiting room. We need consent for procedures. The babies will need immediate intervention. Do whatever they need. Mr. Santos is asking to be present for the birth. No. He says he has no legal standing, judge's orders. Carlos appears from around the corner. Please, David, if they're mine, and if they're not, then I'll know I lost everything to lies. His composure finally breaks. Please, let me at least see them born. I think about Emma's letter, about showing up, about what fathers do. You can observe. You can't make decisions. You can't interfere. Thank you. We stand together in the observation room, watching through glass as doctors work to save 2 boys who might bind us together forever or tear everything apart. They're so small, these babies. Translucent skin, tiny fingers, eyes fused shut, fighting from their first breath. Baby A is out, someone announces, a weak cry, more squeak than scream. Baby B coming, smaller than his brother, silent. He's not breathing. The room explodes in controlled chaos. Chest compressions on something the size of a doll. Carlos grips the window frame. I find myself praying to a God I haven't spoken to since this began. Come on, little man, I whisper. 30 seconds, 60, 90. A cry, thin as paper, but there. We got him. Carlos sobs, actually sobs. Mis hijos, he whispers. My sons. But watching those tiny fighters, I think the same thing. My sons, mine or not. I watch them enter this world fighting. That makes them mine in some way that transcends DNA. Mr. Thompson? A nurse appears. Your wife is asking for you. Rebecca looks small in the recovery bed, depleted, aged 10 years in 10 weeks. Are they okay? She asks. Alive, fighting, every hour matters now. I'm sorry, David, for all of it. Not now. Yes, now. Before we know, while it's just us and the truth. She struggles to sit up. I loved him, Carlos. Or I thought I did, but watching you in that courtroom, hearing Emma, I destroyed everything for a fantasy. You did. Can you ever forgive me? I don't know. Could you love them? The twins, if they're his? Could you love them if they're mine? Knowing what they represent? The marriage you threw away? She doesn't answer. Can't answer. Mrs. Thompson? Dr. Chen enters. The DNA results are ready. The lab rushed them given the circumstances. The envelope that changes everything. Margaret arrives, then Brennan, then Carlos. Even Judge Harrison still in her robes, having heard about the emergency delivery. Given the circumstances, Judge Harrison says, I'll read the results officially, all parties present. We nod. She opens the envelope, reads. Her expression reveals nothing. In the matter of paternity for baby A and baby B Thompson, born today at 4:47 and 4:49 p.m. respectively, she pauses. Probability of paternity for Carlos Santos, 0.0%. The room stops breathing. Probability of paternity for David Thompson, 99.97%. They're mine. These tiny warriors are mine. Carlos makes a sound like breaking. Rebecca covers her face. I feel nothing and everything simultaneously. Mr. Santos, Judge Harrison says, not unkindly, you have no legal standing here. I suggest you speak with your attorney about recovering funds provided under false pretenses. I don't care about money, Carlos says to Rebecca. I cared about you. About them. I'm sorry, Rebecca whispers. No, you're not. You're sorry you got caught. He turns to me. They're lucky to have a father who stayed even when he didn't know. I would have run. He leaves. Back to Spain, back to his life, leaving behind $40,000 and a broken heart. Your Honor, I say, I need to establish something legally. Yes? These boys are mine. Biology confirms it. But more than that, I choose them. Whatever happens with Rebecca, I choose them. Noted for the record. David, Rebecca starts, not the biological father, not the chosen one, just the one who stayed. I say, the words coming from somewhere deeper than thought. That's what Emma said. She's right. I'm the one who stayed. Only the husband can authorize the procedure. Day 3 in the NICU. The twins are stable but critical. Every breath monitored, every heartbeat counted. I've been here for 72 hours learning the language of premature birth. Bradycardia, apnea, surfactant, words that determine if my sons live. Emma visits after school, dressed in a big sister t-shirt my mother bought her. She can't hold them yet, they're too fragile, but she talks to them through the incubator. That's Samuel, she tells baby A, like the boy in my class who shares his goldfish crackers. And that's Daniel, like the man who fixed our car that time. You name them? I ask. Someone had to. You and Mommy were too busy fighting. Rebecca watches from her wheelchair. She can't stand long yet. Complications from the emergency surgery. Samuel and Daniel Thompson, she says, testing the names. I like them. They need middle names, Emma says, something strong. James, I say, looking at Samuel, after my father. Carlos, Rebecca says quietly, looking at Daniel. The NICU goes silent. No, I say, he loved them, even if they weren't his. That should count for something. Not that. Then what? Michael, after the priest who married us, who believed in vows. Rebecca nods, accepting the judgment. Margaret arrives with papers. Custody agreements. Rebecca's agreed to primary placement with you. What? I look at Rebecca. I need help, she admits. Mental health treatment, real treatment. I'm checking into a facility tomorrow, 30 days minimum. The twins will be here for weeks anyway. When they're ready to go home, you'll take them. I'll have supervised visits until I'm stable. And Emma stays with you. I won't disrupt her life more than I already have. It's more than Margaret hoped for, more than I expected. Why? I ask. Because Emma's right. Families are built by showing up, and I've been absent even when present. I need to fix myself before I can be their mother. Dr. Chen interrupts with good news. Samuel's breathing is improving. We might try feeding tomorrow. Daniel's still struggling, but he's a fighter. Like his father, Rebecca says. Which one? I ask, and for the first time in months, we almost smile. You're asking me to father another man's children 6 weeks later. Samuel comes home first, 5 pounds of determination, and my mother's eyes. Somehow Rebecca was right about that. Daniel stays another week, needs one more surgery, but he's winning his fight. The house has been transformed. The guest room is now a nursery. Emma painted clouds on the walls, insisted on 2 of everything, even though they'll share. So they know they're both wanted equally, she explained. Rebecca visits twice a week, supervised by a social worker. She's different. Medication, therapy, and consequences have changed her. Not fixed, that will take years, but aware. I brought something, she says during today's visit, pulling out a frame. It's Emma's first drawing of the broken house, but she's modified it. The crack is now filled with gold paint, like those Japanese bowls that are repaired with gold to make them more beautiful. Kintsugi, Rebecca says, the art of precious scars. Emma learned about it in art class. She said our family is like that, broken but put back together stronger. We're not back together. No, but we're still a family. Different shape, but family. Carlos sent a letter last week. No return address, just a Spanish postmark. Inside 2 savings bonds for the boys' college funds and a note for Samuel and Daniel Thompson. May they know who they are and who loves them. I didn't tell Rebecca. Some gifts are better left unspoken. Margaret files the final divorce papers next month. Uncontested now. Property divided, custody arranged, futures separated but still intertwined through 3 children who need both parents, even if those parents can't need each other anymore. Mr. Thompson, our new nanny, Mrs. Patterson, calls from upstairs. Daniel's crying. He always cries at 3 p.m. Something about the light, or maybe he just likes the attention. I find him in his crib, tiny fists waving at injustices only he understands. Hey, little warrior, I say, picking him up. He weighs nothing and everything. What's the crisis today? He settles against my chest, recognizing my heartbeat maybe, or just knowing I'll stay until he's calm. Samuel watches from his crib, content to observe his brother's drama. Emma appears with her homework. Can I study in here? Sure, princess. She spreads out on the floor, math problems and baby monitors coexisting. Daddy, yeah? Are you happy? I consider lying, giving her the answer she needs, but we're done with lies in this house. I'm learning to be. That's okay. Ms. Johnson says happiness is a practice, not a perfect. Ms. Johnson sounds smart. She's the school counselor. I see her Wednesdays. Another thing I didn't know. Another way Emma's been managing our chaos. No DNA needed, no blood required, just love, Emma says suddenly. What? That's what you told Samuel yesterday when he wouldn't stop crying. I heard you. It's true. I know. That's why I'm happy. Yeah? Yeah, because we're a family. Not the one in my first drawing, but look. She pulls out a new picture. 5 figures this time. Me holding 2 tiny shapes, Emma in the middle, Rebecca to the side, but connected by a golden thread. That's Mommy's visiting line, Emma explains. It's gold because it's precious, even if it's not perfect. And this, I point to words at the bottom. Our family motto. I made it up. I read it aloud. Love is showing up. That night, after bottles and diapers and Emma's bedtime story, I sit in the nursery watching my sons sleep. They're still so small, still fighting for every ounce, but they're here. They're mine. Not because DNA says so, but because I choose them every 3 a.m. feeding, every scary medical appointment, every small victory. My phone buzzes with a text from Rebecca. Thank you for letting me see them today. I know I don't deserve it. I don't respond. Some conversations are better left unfinished. Instead, I pull out the photo from the ultrasound, the one where we first saw them. Two shadows that became two boys that became my sons despite everything. Or because of everything. Emma was right in her letter to the judge. Families aren't made from DNA. They're made from showing up. And tomorrow, when Samuel needs his medications, and Daniel needs his physical therapy, and Emma needs help with fractions, I'll show up. When Rebecca comes for her supervised visit, working toward redemption, I'll show up. When the boys ask someday about the strange geometry of their family, I'll show up with truth and love and the assurance that they were chosen, fought for, wanted. The new family portrait hangs where the wedding photo used to be. 5 faces, 2 last names, 1 family. Emma drew hearts around it in crayon, the twins' tiny handprints in the corner, already reaching for the man who chose to be their father. Samuel stirs, makes a small sound that might become a cry. I'm there before he fully wakes, bottle ready, presence steady. This is what fathers do, not the biological ones, not the chosen ones, just the ones who stay. Hey, little man, I whisper, Daddy's here. And I am, despite everything, because of everything, I'm here. I'm their father, they're my sons, we're a family, broken and repaired with gold, stronger at the broken places, beautiful in our imperfection. Love isn't about blood after all. It's about showing up, every single day, forever. Share your own found family story, the people who chose to love you, who showed up when it mattered, who became family through choice rather than chance. Because in the end, that's what makes a family real. The choosing, the staying, the love.